The honest truth is, as much as we like to pretend we do, it's hard to know why something was shot in the way that it was. It could be shot that way stylistically, for convenience, or maybe we're not supposed to know yet. But if you do want to try and understand a scene, the best way to do it is to find them do it again. The Departed tells the story of two moles, Billy Costigan, an undercover agent for the police department, and Sergeant Sullivan, a mole inside of it. Their reflective nature is demonstrated during the interviews at the Special Investigations Unit. The scenes are placed back to back from each other and use nearly matching setups, highlighting their shared and divergent roles. Sergeant Sullivan stands, Costigan sits. Costigan gets an unbalanced frame, Sergeant Sullivan gets a balanced one. Or in this shot, where Sergeant Sullivan comes in between Queen and Indignum, symbolizing his role as a disruptor in the police force, whereas Costigan, the mole outside of the police force, is absent from the shot completely. The difference in shots also makes it feel inconspicuous to a viewer. It's not jolting the viewer to recognize anything. If you wanted to do it conspicuously, it takes a lot more care. The NSA interview is in this echoey, cold, washed-out room, and is filmed almost entirely from behind. There's only 3 shots in it. From way in the back, this 2 shot from the side, and a slightly closer single framed by the desk. Without much camera or character blocking, it feels very monotoned, which really works. It matches that washed-out room feeling. But Will eventually changes the pace of the scene when he starts his monologue, and we start subconsciously asking for a cut.
Say I'm working at the NSA and somebody puts a code on my desk, something no one else can break.
But the scene restrains itself for longer than you want, until we finally get the reverse we've been asking for.
Location of some rebel army
in North Africa or the Middle East, and once they have that location, they bomb the village where the rebels are hiding.
And it's framed by the warm colors and softer vocals of Sean's office. The edit jumped completely in time and space, but because the viewer was really asking for it, it felt smooth. The shot is also framed in a very interesting way. It's actually the angle from the 2 shot from earlier, but with Will flipped around and zoomed in a bit. It's certainly not the view Sean has. He's on the other side of Will. But functionally, it works very smoothly, using a big seam as a transitional device, implying Will doesn't take the job, and makes Sean ask,
"You feel like you're alone, Will?"
What?
It probably saved minutes off the film's runtime. Another thing you can do is evolve a shot from earlier, implying growth. It's done in Into the Spider-Verse. Early on, Miles Morales is looking up to Spider-Man. Once Miles learns to channel the spark of him into Spider-Man, the shot can evolve. He gets to grow from this to this. And he can become this universe's Spider-Man. The world of TV can follow these same ideas. True Detective draws contrast using set design with the interviews. Marty is shot from the short, more intimate side of the table, in front of a window filled with people, and framed by blinds, which traditionally represent a jailed feeling, but I think in this context represent his straight and narrow life. When we get to Rust's shot, he's on the long end of the table, away from the interviewers, and he's framed by messy boxes and empty beer cans. You can tell so much about these characters just from these 2 shots. But TV shows also have the ability to seed ideas over weeks or even years, like in Game of Thrones. This scene shows the joy Daenerys gets from ruling when she frees the slaves and they accept her in the Season 3 finale. And it's directly referenced in the Season 5 episode Battle of the Bastards, when the wildling army Jon Snow drafted is about to die for him and a castle that they had never seen before, demonstrating the duality of ruling. The Battle of the Bastards is in turn referenced in the episode The Bells, but now with Jon Snow on the side of the tyrants. There are a million reasons why a TV show or movie might repeat a shot. But at the end of the day, it's up to you, the viewer, to decide what it really means.